Make 15% more concrete from every bag. The Gardener is brought to you by PPC.
Just as we decorate our homes, from the lounge, the bedroom to the dining room, so too do we decorate our gardens. If you want to know more about this, then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Tanya Visser, editor of The Gardener magazine, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Gardener. Coming up in today's episode, we talk about garden rooms. We show you a basic practical explanation on these and how you can do it at home. And finally, Garth and I create our own garden room, a bistro table, 3 little chairs, right from scratch. So the question begs, what is everyone going on about these garden rooms for? Well, you know, sometimes it can get confusing, but much the same that we're dividing our homes into different rooms for different functions, so too are we going to do the same with our garden. A good garden will have many of these elements within it. So just think about it. In your garden, you're going to have the lawn area, a recreational space where you can just sit and chill. That would be one garden room. Your veggie garden would be considered as another garden room. Of course, maybe a braai or a boma area is a further garden room. So whilst you're sitting there and watching me, think about your garden. Scan it. Think about what you have and how could you divide it into different rooms. Because the key element to a great garden is by having as many of these rooms as possible. Of course, having too many in a townhouse garden could be a bit over the top. But that's not saying that maybe down the side pathway, you could turn that little area that used to be dead into a beautiful little kitchen garden. Well, you might be thinking, well, Tanya, this is great, but you know, my garden is only this big. How on earth am I going to create garden rooms where you can still see everything? Well, this is how you do it. You're either going to use elements that you can get hold of, things like trellising. You can put that in and immediately you've got the effect of a garden room. By planting living walls, hedges are most fantastic, and I would encourage you to look at using those. Of course, on trellising you can plant and grow beautiful plants as well, which really makes it that much more worthwhile. So don't be stressed out if you have got a small garden and you're not too sure how on earth am I going to fit this in. There always is a way, and of course, if all else fails, you could even build yourself some beautiful dry rock walling, which will do the trick just perfectly. I've recently created this in the garden, and we want to just finish it off to be a complete garden room, an area where you can really sit and enjoy. Because we're working in an area with gravel, I've decided to use container plants to enhance the garden. To finish off our garden room, we want to put in some awesome containers. Remember, at the bottom of the container, a few little pebbles. That helps for drainage. I've got a potting soil mixture here with some superphosphate in it. Put a wee bit in the base. Once we've done that, firm it down gently with your hand, and then I've got this gorgeous beauty to put in here. Now, this is a little petunia. It's a trailing petunia. You actually buy petunias, some that are more little bush-like. This one, you can see by its habit that it naturally is trailing. You'll find them in your local garden centre, either in bowls like this, or even in the little section that sells the seedlings. Look at that. These are healthy roots, healthy white feeder roots, which is what we want. Tease them open just a little bit, just like that. Take your little baby and pop it in. Remember, petunias enjoy full sun. That's really important, at least 5 hours sunlight a day. In these little terracotta pots, you're probably going to have to water it every second day, and depending, if we're having really hot days, you might have to water it a bit often. Now, petunias in your summer rainfall area are best grown during winter. And obviously, in the winter rainfall area, they're best grown during summer. But the only maintenance that they are going to need is a bit of deadheading. You can see here, that flower is spent, it's over. All you got to do is just nip it off. The more you do that, the more you're going to encourage the plant to flower. A little petunia in a pot like this will easily go on in your garden for up to 6 months. This other little pot, I've got these oaks that I want to put in here. It's called a grey jelly bean. Sedum is its botanical name, Sedum pachyphyllum, and these will look beautiful. I've got 3 little oaks to put in here. Same story. A few little pebbles, 1 scoop of potting soil into the base. Remember, if you've got too much soil, just hold it over your container and you can gently take away some of the soil, just like that. Pop them in. Your little sedum, and that will go for any sedum that you're going to buy at your local garden centre. Sedums enjoy lots of sun. Full sun, they are happiest. And in a little container like this, they need very little care at all. If you do have a bit of plant food, go for it, give it to them, that'll be great. But they really are tough little guys, so if you're a beginner gardener and you're looking for something to grow in a container, then go for these guys because they truly are tough. And our final pot that we've got to decorate the area with, nice, much and bigger, put in some pebbles. Remember, this is potting soil mixed with some bone meal. Fill it up about 1/4 of the way. And in it, I've got some gorgeous perennials that I'm going to be mixing together. Now, this little guy is a seriously tough beauty. This is called Salvia Victoria. It's a true perennial, comes in many different colors. You get it in a white, you get it in this white and mauve, and then just in the plain mauve. Really incredibly tough, loves the full sun. As a true perennial, when it starts looking a bit lanky and scraggly, all you do is prune it off quite low, really low. You think you're going to kill it, but you're not. Prune it down low and away it comes again. It's a member of the sage family, which means they need lots of sun and a well-drained soil. Most times with sages, we kill them with kindness. We give them too much water. So if you've been battling to grow sage at home and you don't know what the problem is, it's probably because you're overwatering it. Here I've got a beautiful little annual. This is a little dwarf zinnia. These are the new little miniature ones. They are too cute. Lovely stuff. And one little one down the back here. Remember, folks, when you're doing any container gardening, it's important that, number one, you realize what conditions they need. So are my containers going to be in the full sun or in the shade? Number two, are the plants that I'm mixing together, are they all sun-loving or shade-loving? What height and distance and rate are they all going to grow at? So are these going to be compatible together? Absolutely. And you know, if you're not too sure, rather just ask questions at your local garden centre and they'll be able to give you the right advice. Next, Garth and I show you how to make your very own bistro table.